Next, Darnold Gate. If you follow me on X, which you should, too many of you don't follow me. You would see me dunking on these fuckers, but also bringing things into the light that they say that need more light shined on them. Darnold Gate was the fact that Country Club Connor Hughes brought up the fact that the Jets were split on whether to keep Darnold or not. They've hinted at this before, they've spoken about it, but they didn't make it as crystal clear as he did in this podcast. Most of the Jets, including the coaching staff, Saleh, and the staff, wanted to keep Darnold. Joe Douglas, on the other hand, decided to do an analysis of all the quarterbacks they could get, so excluding Trevor Lawrence, and evaluate Darnold and say which one of these grades out the highest. Turns out Zach Wilson, in his grading, graded out the highest. Therefore, he just took Zach Wilson. This is stupid on many different levels. But if they would have listened to Saleh, we would have traded back and taken Devontae Smith was the guy we wanted. But we would have had Darnold, Devontae Smith, and depending on what the package was, many more picks and picks in the future. And then if Darnold didn't work out that year, which was expected, according to Connor, then we would have just signed Jimmy Garoppolo with a really good roster and would have run it with that. So it's kind of interesting to think about that alternate reality, that we could have had a really good team being run by Jimmy Garoppolo. And of course, if you have Jimmy Garoppolo, you need 3 backups because he's going to get injured every 2 seconds. But but when he plays, he's actually not bad. I mean, he has no physical traits whatsoever. He can't run. He has a terrible arm. But he gets rid of the ball quickly and it goes to the right place and he throws a catchable ball. That's about all he does. But he does that at a high enough rate where you can actually, win. It's kind of crazy. But how funny is it that the scenario that people like Green Bean and others were screaming about all that a whole offseason, trade back, trade out of there. About half of our organization wanted to do just that. How about that? Can you imagine? I mean, it would have been such a better move because then even if Jimmy G doesn't work out, you still have the benefit of all those picks that you got. And hopefully you hit on them, of course. And then whoever you bring in next just has a much better team and things are looking better. Instead, we went for Zach Wilson. Now, he said it wasn't a big fight between, Saleh and Douglas. They just, there was different opinions, but once Douglas made his evaluation, everybody got on board the Zach Wilson train. Joe fucking Douglas, ladies and gentlemen. Joe fucking Douglas. Yeah, the problem with that analysis, of course, is that he didn't weigh the risks properly. He didn't weigh the risks, and he didn't weigh. Well, this is how Sam Darnold has performed, but he's performed this way with a terrible team around him and a terrible play caller. How about if you gave him some tools and weapons and protection and play calling? And how can you do that evaluation and think it's all on an even playing field? Not to mention that was the COVID year. It was a very strange year in college. BYU didn't play in a respectable conference at that time, so they didn't play a lot of high-level competition. There was nobody in the stands. How the hell could you do an evaluation of a person like a Justin Fields, which basically he's saying Wilson graded out higher than Fields. He was in that same draft. And Mac Jones and Trey Lance and Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold. Those are all different things. Trey Lance played at North Dakota State or some fucking place. How the hell do you grade that? And then you have people like Mac Jones playing in the SEC at Alabama, the highest level, and Justin Fields, Ohio State, next highest level, very close. And, Justin Fields playing in the playoff, the college football playoff, and playing against Trevor Lawrence and all these things. And Zach Wilson's over here playing in the Potato Bowl or whatever. I mean, very strange to think that you can equate all those things. Maybe he had weights and balances in it, but still, man, they thought Zach Wilson was going to be a superstar. That's basically what that's telling you, and that's what Connor said. They thought Zach Wilson was going to be a superstar. Just our luck, he wasn't. And now we have the second pick again, and we may not be able to get the guy we want, because I guarantee you the guy we want right now is obviously